I mean, see, that's the funny thing. It's like we say everyone wants different things out of a relationship, blah blah blah, and yet we want, kind of like how everyone is trying to actualize their own specific thing. They're still doing it with the same, in much the same way. Find someone that you could have sex with, and or find multiple people that you can have sex with. But either way, it has to be actualized in some way. Like your desire for what you want out of a relationship has to be actualized with another person, and I guess the it gets bad when say like a person might have like this ideal reality they're trying to manifest, that for example, for a woman it could mean that she's not in a committed monogamous marriage or relationship, but she might have like multiple guys that she could like cycle through, that and they all have like a deep connection.
Some quality that's unique to them that she likes about them.
And personally, I find such an arrangement fucking repulsive.
I do as well.
I'm not into that shit because I mean,
have you ever seen She's Gotta Have It by Spike Lee?
No.
It's okay. It's about a woman fucking 3 different guys, and Spike Lee's one of them. The actress is not that hot or that interesting, but the guys are all colorful characters. Yeah. And the movie would be... Anyway, what I'm getting at is about a black bitch doing that and watching it. You're like, I wish these guys, instead of wasting their time with her, were all just roommates. Because it would be like, they're the most interesting part of it. So it'd be more interesting to just see them interact with each other as opposed to interact with her.
That makes sense. Like just get the bitch out of the picture.
Yeah, and I guess they could be down low brothers. But anyway, it's like yeah. It's about a woman fucking 3 different guys, basically, and then getting them all to move in with her.
Yeah.
Real polyandry. Anyway, continue.
Well, see, if it's in movies, whatever. It could be romanticized. It could be fantasized about. I personally don't care. It's just, it's this weird, uncomfortable precedent. It's like when a girl, like, let's say if a real girl, this actually happened to me, like, she had a boyfriend, apparently, that she didn't want to live with. And but she's they were still.
She wanted to live with you while dating that guy.
I don't know if she wanted to live with me, but I'm saying she wanted to explore other romantic connections while dating that guy. And I was like, look, I get it. I respect you. I respect your freedom, autonomy. However, I'm not that guy. Like I hope you find 10 other guys who'd be down with that. But I'm sorry,
I could never take the place of her man.
Well, it's not just that. It's like
also, it's just why would you ever want to be involved in something so messy and grotesque as that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it boiled down to, I'm sorry, like I love you, but you're not worth that.
Yeah.
I think you're great. I would love to be with you. It's just you're not worth this arrangement that you're kind of trying to like finagle out of this. Like it's never going to happen.
Good luck selling it.
And I think that's
probably would be able to sell it to a bunch of guys, but not to you.
But then you got to understand, like, if you ever get approached with this kind of arrangement, just know it's never going to be like on the table, like up front and frank. It's going to be some weird, like vague, because they don't want, because otherwise, like, women are smart enough to know like what hypergamy means. Women are smart enough to know that guys know what hypergamy means and what the dynamics of it. And women are smart enough to know that guys are smart enough to know that there is a bit of truth to like that dynamic, So it's like it's really easy for like women to get really defensive, where they're like, don't accuse me of being hypergamous. No, this is something higher and something more free. And I'm just like, shut the fuck up, like it's like, I don't know. I mean,
I keep your options open, what have you. Yeah.
Well, then it turns into this discussion of, the old ways of monogamous pairing is broken, and I think like that whole paradigm of whatever, it's just oppressive and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, but then go fucking actualize that with some other fucking guy and leave me fucking out of it,
Yeah.
Because I was okay with whatever. It's just I didn't like it when it's like, oh, you're small-minded for thinking this way. You're small-minded and like small-spirited for.
She's chastising
why? Because I don't want to be a fucking cuck. And I'm like, all right, I didn't want to put it this way, but let's be real here. I like my life with or without you. However, you're the one, you
Yeah.
know, with all the issues. You're the one who's unrooted.
She's the one coming to you and saying, "Hey, can we do this?" And then she's getting mad when you're very politely saying, "This isn't for me."
Yeah, exactly. That's dead ass how it happened. Because I was just like, all
Yeah,
right,
like,
look,
where'd she get off?
I was
Like,
even
you-
happy for them. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, dude, I'm happy. I hope things work out for you. But from here on out, I'm gonna treat you as a friend. And then suddenly
Yeah.
it's like it turns into this. Oh, how very small minded of you, and how small spirited of you. I thought you were more like spiritually aware. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut
You
the
are
fuck up.
spiritually aware. You're spiritually aware of what's going to work for you, what you can tolerate.
And I was like, that is like talking like this is not how you get on a person's good side.
Yeah.
I had to just tee off on this person. I was
Yeah.
like, first of all, like, let's get something straight. You know, like, I was happy for you, but now it's just like, now I'm just
like,
gonna be
fuck
straight
you,
up honest.
bitch.
And you're just, if you keep going down this route, you're just gonna end up like in a busted ass place. You know, like.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's like that's the kind of shit that we're dealing with in the modern world of dating. You know, where things got so vague because we're trying to break out like of traditional paradigms to such a detrimental extent. You know, where now we got these
I
fucked
mean,
up.
people keep reinventing free love, swingers, situations like this.
It's never
like-
gonna, it's never gonna fill that gaping void.
Yeah, like you have incidences of people having like free love colonies in like the 18th century.
Yeah.
And obviously, lack of birth control makes things a lot messier there, a lot faster. But all the same, like, emotional fraught jealousies and issues like that.
That never goes away.
Yeah, and it's always in all these communes, all these situations. It's there. The Bolsheviks tried doing this.
Yeah.
I think the Paris there's commune. I think like there's just so many incidences of people trying the same thing and it not working.
Yo, listen, if there's, yo, what's fucked up is like, I look online and it literally, no one's writing anything about how their thoughts on their relationships. No one's actually like thinking or reflecting on it. All they're doing, like their idea of of a relationship is like 30% the last meme about it they reposted. You know, like,
Yeah.
like your idea of a relationship literally just comes from the last fucking meme you reposted on Twitter or Facebook
Yeah.
or some shit about how like, oh, if he treats you like shit, blah, 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 then sis, you gotta do this, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, dude.
Feels in general the internet is really terrible for relationships. Feels like it's really it leads to it really encourages the if anything goes slightly wrong, break up with the person mentality.
What I think is you can't you need a divide, because
Yeah.
the truth is internet relationships can work. Real, like, you know, internet relationships that are built off of an initial connection off the internet. Also, relationships that are initially built off of a real life connection can also work. Now, the problems happen when you try to like blend it, when you try to play both roles. When on one hand it's like, oh, I'm a guy who does both, like, you know, I mess around with chicks on the internet, but then, you know, I'm also gonna go out in real life and maybe also like try my luck with. No, you have to just focus on one. You can't be a meat space dater and then expect internet dating rules to apply, and you can't be like an internet space dater and assume meat space like normal people rules, like normal old school dating rules apply. They don't. It's a very, 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 very different dynamic. Because for one, most of the time when it comes to internet-based relationships, it's going to probably start long distance. Like,
Yeah.
like you guys probably connected over like state lines at least. You know, a lot of cases over national lines and national borders.
Yeah.
So that's going to automatically be a very different dynamic. You know, because you're not going to be able to physically be with them, which ultimately leads you to a very tough place. It's either going to be some kind of open arrangement or it's going to be like just straight up like abstinence, you know, because
Yeah, a lot of longing, a lot of, you know, one thing when I never have been in, well, I guess I technically had a relationship that turned into a long distance online relationship,
yeah,
which was awful. I don't recommend it. But when I see it with my other internet friends who are dating people online, they always, excuse me, ended up in dynamics where they would go and one or the other person would go and see the other for a week or two or three, and they would have a good time, but it was like a honeymoon. And whenever they went back home, they go back long distance, some frustration, and then they go back. They never really got a sense of what, not even living together, they didn't even get like the sense of a normal relationship dynamic you get from living in the same city as your boyfriend or girlfriend. They were always like, oh, I'm going to move in with this person across state lines. And sometimes, and often it worked out. But prior to them doing that, their dynamic was always like who just started dating.
They kind of have to like start over every time they meet up again.
Yeah, well, not even start over, but they were like back in the honeymoon every time, which is probably very addictive of a feeling, and like the longing and the desire before seeing
You're right.
each other.
You're right. It becomes a.
But whereas if you start dating someone in your city after a month, 2 months, whatever, you kind of get over that. And it's not like it's bad. You start getting a sense of, oh, here's a problem with the person. I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about that, or I need to work that out. You can date someone online, going to see each other every few months or twice a year, and you're not getting as good of a judgment as if you're dating someone in your own city and you're seeing them once a week.
Yeah.
Because in the latter case, you get familiar and you get a sense of not like the big excitement of going on vacation to see this person.
You get to see how they live.
Yeah. You get to see stuff like, as opposed to, I'm going to put everything off to hang out with this person. It's like, how do they respond when you say, I'm sorry, babe, I got called into work. I can't make our date. Let's reschedule. Are they accepting? Do they get mad about it? You get to see, you're going out to something and it's, hey, you want to roll through to this thing? How they react around your friends.
In my experience, though, like, you know, especially like, Now that we're
because
like,
you've done long distance online, right? Several times.
Yeah. I did it twice, like most significantly. One ended up as an engagement. Now, here's what I'll say about trying to make long distance relationships work. It's honestly like, the more privileged you are, the more easier it's going to be. Like if one of you makes like really decent money, it's going to be very
travel's going to be a lot easier. Yeah.
It's going to make closing the gap really, really fast, like really easy. However, that being said, that probably goes to show, I mean, I don't want to say it's superior. What I will say is the result is often more potent and more coherent, like in terms of a bond between two people. Like, usually, like when two people connect who live in the same city, it's usually more based on circumstance than two people who connect from like just online communication. Yeah, that's like a really deep connection. That's like a really deep, I would say, spiritual connection. Because
I've noticed that.
Yeah. I mean, first is like, there's the peripheral, but I think what really changed, like the peripheral of like see the words that such other people have to say. But then once the pictures started coming into play, like where you could put an actual face to the words, that changes things, like,
and video calls and all that.
Yeah. So
the voice calls.
So that also like helps to, I guess, like close the physical gap. But generally speaking, it's like, in a lot of ways, a long distance relationship, that a strong one that does like last longer than like a few months, can actually be a very powerful thing, because you're not connecting off of anything superficial or just by circumstance or accident. Like that is 100% a willful.
That's true. I agree with that. It's probably one of the factors why they can be so potent.
Yeah.
It's not just like you're both horny, you hook up, and then you just keep seeing each other.
Which
is often the case.
I mean, because the truth is, like, if you're in a really deep, long distance connection like that, the fucking truth is, you might be able to, you probably can find like lots of people who are better for you than that person. However, you won't find any other connection like that. It's clearly going to be a very, very, very unique and like type of connection that you're never really going to be able to replicate. Even if you find another person like online, it's still not going to be the same.
You're connecting, you know the same people online from the same community, or the same situation, activities.
Yeah, sure. And so yeah, that's when it comes to online dating, it's not all bad. It's just you got to be like really prepared for like what you're gonna have to give up. But also, you have to really consider what you're gonna gain out of it. Now, this kind of goes into what I'm saying about like, as an adult, now that we're more like established adults, how like after a while, it's like you start dating. But see, I think it's like, I mean, there's like you see like those relationships that progress really fast, and I do think there's relationships that progress too fast in a sense where they're just going to end up like terrible,
I agree.
And then there's relationships that just progress really fast because it's almost like there's no other choice. Like what else are they going to do? Because it's like, it's like, let's say you have two people who are relatively like well put together or like well managed. Like they cleared out their shit. They're aligned, they're centered, they're spiritually awakened or whatever. And they're established and they're stable emotionally, mentally, physically. And if two of those people meet, like it's almost like it's almost like an engine, you know, like an engine that just like gets more powerful and more faster and more efficient. And eventually I feel like I could easily see like those situations where two people just like, I'm not even going to say fall head over heels into love. It's just like two puzzle pieces clicking, you know, not romantic,
Right.
not even, but also economically. It's
Economically,
like,
personality-wise.
yeah, it's like if we move in together, we'll both save a lot of fucking money, and you know, we stay
Yeah.
at each other's places for weeks at a time. So like, what the fuck are we doing? Might as well just
Yeah.
place together, you know? So shit like that. And I think that's like, to me, that's always the ideal. I don't care about like crazy feelings of like whatever. I like it where it's just like makes too much sense to the point where it almost doesn't make sense at how much all of this makes sense, you know?
Yes.
So I think that's like that's kind of like what people should sort of strive for if they're looking for someone. But it's also like, I don't know. I used to think like in a stupid ass way where I would just be like willfully thought I willfully thought I was like into, you know, dysfunctional hoes, you know, like hot but damaged bitches, and turns out I'm really not into that. You know, like it's something I thought I was into. I guess just because they were fucking hot, you know, like that's how they.
That
got
makes
me.
sense.
Yeah.
And you have heightened emotions from them. Maybe you can feel like a caretaker or like someone very important to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like,
If you have abandonment issues, it's a very enticing option because
that's true.
Yeah.
If you have self-confidence issues, it kind of makes it feel like
Better.
It makes sense that this person would be into me because of their mental health issues.
Yeah.
If you yourself are mentally ill, you actually always have something to talk about because you're both crazy.
Yeah. I mean,
that's certainly been the case with me in every relationship I've been in. It's like, oh, we have a lot to bond over. We're both nuts.
Well, the way I see it, it's like what doesn't just ruin relationships in terms of mentality, but it ruins everything. Ruins your life experience, ruins your relationships, ruins your work, ruins everything. Like, well, the thing that ruins it is a scarcity mentality. Is like where you have
where you have abundance mentality.
Yeah, because if you have but here's the ironic part.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a scarce mindset, you're going to be less attractive to people, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Not just like the opposite sex, but people are generally going to be like, ugh, you know, like why can't this person just get for themselves what they need? Like, what are they, like stupid? And that's like, that automatically is like, I don't want to be around this person. But if you have an abundance mentality, like completely independently from anyone else, where you just self-generated this feeling of abundance from the inside out, the ironic part is you probably would be less likely to go out and like hunt for a girlfriend. You know, you're probably more likely to just be like, dude, I'm fucking good. You know, like,
feel self-sufficient.
I already got shit on my plate. And the better you get at it, for example, when you're more disciplined, like, you know, say you stop looking at porn, say you stop drinking and all that shit, or stop smoking weed or whatever.
Yeah.
And you exercise more and you read more books and all this shit and you do all that and you're just going to become like more and more enticing to people. However, you're just reinforcing your abundance mentality. So you're like, at that point, like other people will try to get into your life, but you're like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, like get the fuck out of my shit. Like, you know how hard I worked for this?
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. So what that really, I guess, ends up with is like, you still want to be with someone. So your standard's just going to get higher, I guess, you know, like.
Yeah. Your standards will always get just out of reach. You always get far enough.
Because you're trying to work on yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and if we know that like statistically most people are not trying to work on themselves. I mean,
yeah,
they may want to work on themselves, but they're not actually trying to work on themselves, you know, like,
yeah.
So there's that. And yeah, I think it's when you get to that state, it's just, I don't know. I guess I was just pointing out the irony of it all, you know, the ironic nature of like an abundance mentality and how like it's gonna in some way like, you know, make you like not really seek as a relationship as much. Whereas if you do have this big gaping void in your life, like a big, I mean, the worst pettiest shit is like, you know, when you're financially unstable and you're hoping if I could just get a sugar mama, if I could just find like a sugar daddy or something, you know, like trade sexual favors for resources that could not just help me pay my rent, but also buy me shit, stuff like that. You know, that's when it becomes like routinely transactional, which is like really bad. But then again, that kind of makes sense. You know, it's like, that's like empty people trying to find fulfillment in other empty people. Like the guy with a lot of money, but who would get a sugar baby is clearly like has a void inside of him in some way. Whereas the sugar baby has the obvious gaping financial
hole for pussy.
and they're trying to like, yeah. So it's kind of fucked up. It's almost like, perfect in how like you see two toxic people just end up destroying each other in like perfect Ouroboros kind of.
Yeah, perfect symmetry.
Kind of fucked.
Yeah, true.
Meanwhile, the opposite of that would be like, I don't know, a guy who has money but doesn't feel the need to like burn it all in some fucking sugar baby's pussy hole.
Yeah.
At the same time, you meet a girl who is financially stable and doesn't need to become a sugar baby, you know, and then they meet. But then here's the thing, like that's less and less likely to happen if this like current standard societal paradigm like of hypercapitalism and like weird valuations on each other in society at large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continues.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe sensible people were always like few and far between, even back in the 80s and the 90s and 70s.
Well, before, perhaps. I think a lot of factors is there's just more incentives to stay together. There's strong social pressures to stay together. There's financial necessities. People don't have birth control, so they have kids that they need to stay together for. Though people still fell apart.
I think I need to find a girl who's like dumb as bricks, but like super strong. Like she's like a black belt in like.
Yeah, you just need a brute girlfriend. You just want a dumb brute girlfriend.
No, but she's like super skilled in like fucking kung fu or karate or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this very likely person you're going to meet, this muscle mommy.
And this is not. She doesn't even have to
this
be muscle.
Retarded muscle mommy.
She doesn't even have to be muscular. She could just be like just brutal in the ways of martial arts.
Yeah, she's just like this anime bodyguard.
Well, I was just thinking like in a Fallout 4, like when you take your character and you just like zero out their intelligence, but you max out their luck and their strength. So you just get like a Greek god, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure something you can very readily find.
Definitely not. Because like, I mean, still like, you know, it's unfair to say you'll probably not find that because you have to be very disciplined and probably intelligent to like become even a muscular mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, does anyone really want a smart partner? Do girls really want to date a smart guy? Do guys?
I think some women do. If it fits into a certain narrative they have, women seem very narrative driven of the kind of men they're looking for, and they're trying to find people that slot into that.
That's very smart. You know, like that's more intuitive than like to look at everything through a narrative lens.
Yeah.
Because it's also like it's how like corporations control us. They control us through narratives.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they influence us. Is always through narratives, like the story of you and how like the story of you is affected if you don't buy this thing.
Yeah, exactly. What they're selling, how it's appealing to. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, that's the illusion. They'll show you an advertisement, but you project yourself into that story because the profile fits yours. Oh, here's a fucking commercial about a man in his mid-20s to early 30s walking through, you know, like at a bar.
Certain demographic, yes.
It's like, who can't relate to that? I could see myself in this story. The story might as well be about me. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the power.
And then you
have
a lot of medicine commercials where it's just some like elderly couple going for a jog, seeing their grandkids. They have a golden retriever.
Yeah, that's the power of a story. Holy shit! I just realized like that's probably like a very, very powerful way to like pick up women if you're a smart dude and like you're able to like really read people well and deeply. Like you could just like honestly that's the real question. Like it's like you take any girl. And it's like you got to try to figure out their romanticized narrative. You got to figure out what their romantic narrative is that they're like imagining,
what they're looking for.
Yeah, and then you just play it out. All you got to do is just figure out their narrative and just play it out without asking them directly. You just got to be able to like look at them and like observe them, and then say, "Oh, she's probably looking."
There's
for this
that pickup line in Infinite Jest with a character something in Cadenza goes up to women and says like, "Tell me your ideal man, and I'll do my best to be a facsimile of him."
That's amazing.
Yeah. A friend of mine used to use that as a pickup line in real life.
But
it's some effect, I think. Some positive effect.
Okay, so...
This is like a decade ago.
So let's say we took the act of seduction, right? Let's say we broke it down to an actual science or a skill, whatever, you know? So the thing about seduction is if you're naturally seducing someone, what you do is you play upon a certain archetype that you unconsciously fit very naturally. It just feels natural to you to be like, oh, the helpless victim, you know, little girl, or like, or the incessant sex pest, or like whatever. Everyone's got these certain archetypes. Yeah. So as in the game of seduction, the way it goes, it's kind of like astrology or personality types. Every person has two archetypes. Their seducer's archetype and their victim's archetype. And these are all like determined by multiple factors based on your personal motivations, your prior traumas, your fucking, you know, like your upbringing and your class and all that shit, your race, your gender. But yeah, generally speaking, all these like amalgamate into like archetypes and like different kinds of seducers or seducers victims you play as. Like what kind of seduction tactics you would likely employ as this archetype, and what kind of specific seduction styles you would respond the most to, right?
Yes.
So they have this, right? Now, assuming like most people just do this naturally, like they you know, that's the one way to approach it. Now, a skillful seducer, like an actual master conscious seducer, what they do is it's not natural for them, as in a sense where they recognize the archetypes. They see the archetypes playing in every interaction between like men and women and whatever, and every romantic sexual interaction or whatever. They see those archetypes playing out, and they see those archetypes like as they manifest forth while people start to feel those feelings of attraction and whatnot. Then suddenly the archetypes reveal themselves. Now, what the skillful master seducer would do is they would take those archetypes and they would treat them like costumes, like different roles you play as an actor when you're doing like different movies or different plays. You're basically putting on different roles. So it's like, you know, like I said, let's say you never heard of seduction as a skill. You never read this book, The Art of Seduction by fucking Robert Greene or whatever. You never read
mystery.
That. All you're doing is just one of these things naturally.
The game.
Sorry, no, just The Art of Seduction.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
So you're just doing this shit naturally. You're just playing out these archetypes naturally. However, when you are skilled, when you are schooled, when you are knowledgeable, and you have kind of internalized this concept of like archetypes, and you can't not notice it. Like when like you see women, like how they react to guys, or if they're like flirting with you or whatever, or you see your homie, the way he like, you know, gets simps, or the way he like hits on girls, like you see it play out. You see these archetypes take shape once you know about it, once you're conscious of it. And it's pretty wacky. It's pretty crazy shit. But back to the quote of what you said before that your friend uses. That's really what it's referring to. I'll be like, give me your ideal man. What's your seducer's victim, or what's your victim archetype, and I will do my best to become the corresponding seducer that would successfully seduce that archetype.
Yes.
So that's how that shit works. And I mean, I don't really think about that shit too much. It's just because I read this stuff when I was like 22, 23, so it was like a while ago. But
yeah, back when it was big. Yeah.
No, it was never. I mean, all right. Actually, you know what?
Yeah, like 2010.
Robert Greene he's big.
2008 to 2012, 2006, something like that.
Yeah, it's basically self-help shit. I mean, at
it
the end
is.
Of the day. However,
and often the best parts of it are just standard self-help repertoire stuff. But go on.
Well, that's not what makes his stuff special.
Okay.
What makes Robert Greene's work special isn't just the concepts that he's like introducing.
Yeah.
But he very accurately and very poignantly points to historical examples to back up his shit. Like, you know, like, I mean, these stories, like, not all of them are like literally true, but I'm saying like they're true in a sense of how they were relayed, how we know these tales of these figures.
They're thematically true.
Yes. So knowing that, what he's pointing at is like the themes that are playing out in observance with these laws, or in transgression of these laws, and you can see the outcomes play out in history, in a sense, so to speak. So that's really one of the reasons why his stuff, to me, is really good, because that's the part that makes it entertaining. That's the part that makes it like fulfilling, not just like dull and instructional. Like that's what makes it magical, because you see these things play out. And as you read historical examples, your brain naturally comes up with your own personal memories to reference and examples, and they all fit, and it works. And another thing that I notice about like Robert Greene's work, it's very misconstrued. I mean, I shouldn't say misconstrued. It's very easy to misconstrue, or it's very easy to try to misuse. But you know, I think that's kind of like that's not really true, because the truth is, if you read a book like The Art of Seduction or The 48 Laws of Power, and you really did want to be some kind of master manipulator utilizing these principles to like get your way with everything, the truth is it takes immense discipline to be able
Yes.
to really like leverage these, leverage this kind of wisdom. Because the truth is, they even preface all this shit with like, none of this is going to work unless you learn to control your fucking emotions.
Yeah.
Which is already like 90% of the people are gonna fucking fail at that. So they might as well just stop reading there if that's what they're trying to do. Otherwise, they could just keep, learning and keep reading and then, try to do like a willful practice. But the thing is, by the time you do get disciplined enough to be able to master those concepts in your own life, you're not going to want to misuse that, because that literally that's antithetical to like, what it takes to get that kind of discipline in the first place.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's my whole rant on Robert Greene.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like at worst, people are just going to like waste their time of trying to abuse it. But at best, it's going to really, really help you. It's going to really help your life and help you get out of some bad situations, some loneliness, like poverty. Like that's the kind of wisdom you need. You don't need junk knowledge like of like an IT position that's just going to get outmoded in like a few years anyway, like, and you end up back at square one of like destitution,
Well, those kind of IT positions, it seems like people go from one of them to another. Rarely, it seems like usually when they're in, I know what you mean, but it seems like once you're in that, you might have some trouble finding a job, but then you just go from one to another.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just going to be an endless revolving door of like, job hopping, which is never fucking fun,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's it. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm not trying to find another fucking career from here. After this, I'm working for myself. I'm like so not ready to like, oh, I'm gonna climb up a ladder and work for an even bigger asshole. Like, no, I'm gonna stay loyal to the one that's been treating me good, and
very East Asian of you.
Well, I'm gonna also work on my own shit.
Yes.
I'm gonna do what I enjoy and hopefully
self-actualize. Yeah.
Hopefully it's something that's productive enough to maybe like, I don't know, one day not need to work. Like that'd be great.
It would.
Yeah. But all this, all the self-help stuff, I certainly appreciate it. I mean, what do they want? Like, what do they want me to say? Like, don't fucking try out self-help shit if it has the potential to help you, like it helped me. I mean, but then again, I think it takes a little more than that. Probably, it probably does take a certain degree of intelligence to be able to like use like advanced concepts like that and apply them to.
It does.
But that's another reason why Robert Greene is so fucking great, because he could be some retard in literally sitting in prison, like federal prison.
He teaches you how to. He breaks it down and shows you how to do it. Yeah.
You could be a celebrity in a ruthless, predatory fucking
field.
Yeah. Did you know actually the 48 Laws of Power is like a bestseller amongst literally prison inmates and celebrities?
I'm not surprised by either of those. It seems like very fitting for both groups.
I mean, hells yeah, and it's to me that's like a beautiful thing. That's how like you did something incredible in your lifetime. When you appeal to both like the lowest on the ladder and the highest.
They're both in intense hierarchies and social realms.
Did you ever read any of Robert Greene's books?
I have read the 48 Laws of Power when I was like 13, 14. I should read it again.
I read it like 3 times. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to do it. I didn't do it like consecutively, like, oh, again and again and again. No, it's like I read them, the whole thing, like in different points in my life.
Yeah.
Every time I was like in a really bad place, and every time I read that book, it's like good things usually happen following after that. So
Yeah.
and it usually did. Now the funny part is, I never live my life day to day ever thinking, oh, I gotta follow this law 3 or 4, like never trust your wife, or I don't fuck. It's something stupid, like whatever. If I said it out loud, it would just make me sound like a sociopath. But
Right.
I don't think
But you kept them in mind.
I don't know. I never had to. I don't think I ever
Yeah.
had to. I think I've just internalized it to such a degree where it's like,
Mm.
I mean, because at that point, if you do internalize that, it's like literally having like psychic weapons built into your brain.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, what's your intention? And my intention. So, and I don't really feel bad for being in that position. I mean, at the end of the day, if anyone got stronger, they would eventually just have to contend with what their intentions truly are now. It's like now that you've earned some degree of agency and psychic defenses, like what are you going to do with it? Like, are you going to abuse it? Are you going to use it to help people? Are you going to use it to help yourself? Are you going to use it to serve yourself? Are you going to use it to serve society? Like, what are you going to do with it? It's clearly some higher framework of mind that you can actively use to damage people if you really, really wanted to, and you had the energy and resources to spare. But it could also be used to do good things. It could also be used to like get a lot of things accomplished where normally you would get tripped up by some asshole who gets involved in a project, and you don't know how to deal with assholes who are like literally conflicting with you, and you're not built for conflict, and you're not used to conflict, you're not conditioned for it. So you, every time conflict arises, your immediate instinct would be like, I'm gonna buckle, I'm gonna fold.
Yeah.
So better than having to deal with a conflict. Maybe this wasn't meant to be. Maybe this wasn't meant to work out. Maybe I wasn't really supposed to get this project off the ground. I mean, who says I would have been that guy anyway? It's like, nah. The difference is like if you're willing to like confront it head on. Otherwise, that person gets to write your reality.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that's a whole thing. It's like you have to really. It's all a matter of like how comfortable you are with yourself and your intentions and your motivations. Yeah, so, you know, how do we apply all this to getting pussy? Well, it's really about having a lot of patience and a very keen interest on a specific outcome. Like, you know, yeah, that's how I think like is very pivotal is you need patience. Most people have a hard
Patience, you need to not be desperate. You need to not be yearning. You have to have that emotional control.
You have to have
that mental control.
Outcome independence.
Yeah.
Outcome independence and an abundance mentality, meaning you have to live a life where if you don't get that girl, your whole life's not going to fucking end. You know, like that's not a good, it's not a good place, even for whether you're a man or a woman. I don't think that's a good place to like start looking for like a fucking partner.
Women are a lot better at moving on or finding someone else, or women bounce back from breakups most of the time very quickly.
Well, I mean, that's fair because like women are more intuitive, you know? They it's not like men, it's almost like men's attachment. It isn't rooted in some virtue. Like that level of attachment is rooted, I think, in nearsightedness and like in an inability to see beyond your current emotional state, which is always this longing and this pining of my ex that just dumped me. Like, oh no, it's so painful.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like conditioned to just like immerse yourself in that and like ruminate over that shit. And that's like so unproductive. Like,
yeah, I know.
I mean, once you break it down, see, again, like this is where I think like spiritual development can really help, because a spiritually developed person would look at everyone as a spiritual being having a human experience, meaning we are all ultimately fragments of the same God soul, right?
Yeah.
Just experiencing different lifetimes in different bodies. So then that helps with outcome independence, because you're like, so what if it doesn't work out with this girl? I'm still probably going to see her when we become the same person back when we both die and we go back to God, you know? Like, it's like it's just at that point it's like, what's going to make you feel insecure at this point? Like if you truly do surrender to that outlook, that framework of reality, a spiritual reality, you know, which I think it's like, dude, it helps with everything. It helps with your political inclinations, it helps with your money, it helps with your relationships. Yeah. So but really you don't need all that spiritual connection if you're just trying to get pussy, right? So one thing that helps with getting pussy is you need resources, you need money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's gonna throw their pussy at a guy with no money.
Well, when I was far deader broke than I am now, I got laid a lot more.
Yeah, but we're at a different age bracket now.
That's true. You're right. That's very true.
Those are the good
in your
old days.
20s. Yeah, in your 20s.
Because everyone's retarded in their 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
But now that we're in our 30s, people aren't as retarded anymore.
That's very true. Yeah.
And that includes women who just wouldn't throw their pussy at broke guys anymore because they're tired of it.
Yeah.
They spent a decade doing that.
Well, I guess some people did. And just think of all the times I passed it up, or I decided to do some bit, or I decided to be a dickhead because I wanted to troll in real life, or because I wanted to make some bizarre ideological stance when interacting with a woman.
Man, every
I am an extreme anti-pussy getter, even though I've had sex with a whole bunch of different people.
every time a woman would like show any kind of like affection, like sexual attraction towards me, I would always like give in. You could say I was like a total hoe, and like if I'm like like basically a male version of a slut, which double standards rock because apparently that's okay when guys do it. So whatever.
Well, look, I mean, you know the old line.
What?
If a woman has sex with 20 men in a month, she's a whore. If a guy has sex with 20 men in a month, he's gay.
Yeah. Good one.
It's true, though. It really makes you think about societal double standards.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. As a guy, so yeah, I kind of always I think it's just because like I something I feel really insecure about like hurting a woman's feelings.
Yeah.
The one time I really did it consciously, knowing full well what I was doing, I felt like I never felt worse about anything in my life. So even think worse than anything that's ever happened to me is like literally that thing that I did.
Yeah.
I mean, generally, I actually feel worse. Always feel worse about things that I've done. And then, I mean, I could look at it objectively. They're never as bad as usually the things that have been done to me at some point, like some of the worst things. But I still feel like more guilty and hurt that I did that than I would about even like some more fucked up shit that's been done to me. But I think I don't know if that people would call that a virtue. I don't know if that's always a good thing, but I think now it's really about balancing out. You know, it's not about like choosing one over the other, but you got to have like some balance in your boundaries. I remember when I started like really drawing boundaries, I started like when I became like an adult, like a legal adult, I was just like not having shit anymore. Because, you know, like after turning 18, I was already kind of ahead of like a lot of my other friends who were 18. And I was like, you guys aren't even fucking employed. Like you guys are just still living in your fucking mom's house, not even going to college. You're not employed. Like the fuck do you guys know? And so it's like that's when I really started being able to draw boundaries with my peers, because I'm like, I just realized like you guys aren't fucking doing shit. You know, like you guys are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And that's when I, you know, built up a lot of self-esteem. And I think there comes a moment with people like who do build up enough self-esteem. That's when it's like when that newfound self-esteem has to reckon with their actual competency,
their achievements or lack thereof.
And that's a gamble. Because it's always going to be different results for everyone. You're going to find your self-esteem, and you're either going to have just enough competency to reach escape velocity and end up in a better place in life, or you can get smacked the fuck down. You know, like And I think like what comes with competency is like humility. I mean, you could take a person who's like very arrogant on the outside, but what you don't know is that they're very humble on the inside. They may talk like arrogant jerks all the time, but if you look at them when they're alone, you know, when there's no one else around, they're doing work. Like they're fucking putting their fucking head down. They're at the gym. They're like, you know, they're like working on their shit, on their passions, on like the things they feel they were meant to do in life, like their destiny.
Yes.
So that's what people have to realize. You know, it's like it's a different kind of humility. It's a humility you often probably don't see. You know, like even if they show like humility on the outside, there's still another whole level of like it's like an inner
strength, an inner confidence.
Yeah, compared to like an external
inner humility.
And I like that. To me, like if you are like a really competent person and you have enough inner humility to like do the work to become superior in competency and whatever it is that you put your mind to, you have to be arrogant on the outside. Otherwise, you're going to be like so unapproachable. Otherwise you're going to be like an alien to people. Like, cause like, you can't talk to someone like that. You can't really even relate to a person like that. If you externalize that arrogance, people like that. People like competent people with externalized arrogance because like it makes them more relatable to them. You know, like it makes them more approachable. It makes them flawed. You know, so it's like that's the thing. Even with a genius, if you meet a genius, you at least want a part of them to have some kind of dysfunction or something. You know, and that'll make them more approachable if they're an alcoholic or if they're fucking, I don't know, something, if they're autistic.
Yeah. They're gay, they're trans, they're a woman looking to control her reproductive organs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of like my thing about drawing boundaries is your boundaries are going to be tested once you start drawing them, and the only thing that's going to like defend the walls you erect for yourself is going to be your competency and is going to be the culmination of the work you actually put in, like the real work. And you know the difference between like real work and fake work you put into your life. Fake work is like fake work. It's like zero-sum shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's like arguing online, you know, over like gossip and celebrity drama and like trying.
I feel like I got a lot of all the years I spent arguing online. Now, I can't guarantee what it was, but I feel like I got something out of it.
It's something.
Yeah, there's something there.
You just don't have a word for it yet.
Yeah. So I don't know. Getting pussy, tough one.
Getting pussy, competency. Competency will help you get pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing that helps you get pussy is just saying no. You know, get used to saying no to women.
Yeah.
And it's very hard because no one wants
Paradoxical, but yes.
no one wants to say no to a woman about anything. I don't want to say, I hate saying no to women.
Same, yeah.
I hate telling a woman no. Like if a woman asks me like, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? I fucking don't want to say no, but I don't know when it happened. At some point in my like development, I guess, like as a man, you know, something happened where fucking a girl would just ask me something, and then there's like this inner voice in my head that would tell me, it's like, what she's asking of you is unreasonable.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't just say no, but you should be fucking pissed because like that's just not a reasonable request. And for her to say it and assume it as if she's entitled to it, you should really like put your foot down and say something. Otherwise you're not gonna like yourself anymore. And then you start doing that and it feels really good, which is why like, you know, you could end up being scary at first. You could start yelling at them. You could like lose your handle, especially if you have a lot of pent up like no's that you should have said a long time ago, you know?
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but for me, it was just, it wasn't that bad, you know, like it wasn't that like intense, but I've seen it get intense in other people. Like when they finally lose it on a woman for the first time in their life, I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking gnarly. Like, but I know where, at least now I know the nature of it, you know, after experiencing something like it firsthand. But yeah, get used to saying no. I mean, you have to do that, not just for getting pussy, but also like for maintaining self-respect, which ultimately you need for getting pussy. So,
right.
Also, like we were gonna talk about fashion and how like trends are really gay and terrible.
Yeah, about how you're just doing you find what works for you and you stick with and you do that. And maybe you evolve with what you're trying to shift as you get into different ages or as your body type changes.
Well, I mean, look, as men, we have it really easy.
Yeah.
When it comes to male fashion, it's
you can find what works for you and then just stick with it.
Well, it's also simple. Like, what do you like to do?
Yeah.
And then just dress for that occasion. Like, are you an electrician? Dress in ways that'll make your fucking job more enriching and better. You know, like, you know, something with like neat hidden pockets. I don't fucking know, whatever it is electricians need. You know, if you work a job where you're like a, I don't know, like a courier or something like really, where you're on the move a lot. You know, like you want to have something a little more useful, utilitarian. I mean, I like that shit. I like sensible fashion. You know, things that have a purpose or a function.
Yeah,
fashion and function, like a right mix of it. You know, that's my favorite. But I'm like always about like that balance.
Well, I like flamboyance. I like loud colors.
Like
but I tend to stay ultimately within. Usually, I wear a lot of complementary colors on a color wheel.
Well, I was gonna say this. Look, about on the topic of skinny jeans.
Yeah,
like you guys are only trying to phase them out of fashion because first of all, the people who are phasing them out of fashion, you guys are just getting fucking fat. Okay?
I think there's some. I don't think this is fully true because I think it is. Zoomers are very much into it. Maybe they're overcompensating after millennials like wore the tightest jeans possible. I do speculate that. And you're agreeing here.
Skinny jeans were never in fashion in our lifetimes anyway. And
they were.
No, they weren't. First of all,
they were 2010s.
I'm saying they never went out of fashion.
Since out of fashion.
They never went out of fashion since like the 80s. So they were never in fashion for us. They were always just the thing, you know? Because,
that's true. You had even when you had large jeans in the 90s.
Ever since glam metal. Ever since metal bands started wearing like girl jeans on stage.
Yeah. Yeah. They've been around in some form. You've had heroin chic in the 90s.
Hell yeah. Train Spotting, Represent.
Yeah.
The fashion in that movie was crazy.
It is. I was saying that there's a bunch of millennials who are putting on paunch or putting on weight who are still dressing like they did in 2010.
Oh, it's hot.
And a bunch of them, it doesn't work as well.
No.
But then again, yeah, you see these Zoomers out in the Lower East Side wearing like Jinko jeans with a whole bunch of chains on them, dangling, and they feel like they're Hot Topic mall goths or punks from 2005.
True.
Other thing I see with Zoomers is the women dressing both more caricaturedly slutty, but also just dressing like anime characters all the time.
Oh God, I mean.
The kind of things that millennial kind of nerdy weird girls dressed as when they went to a comic book convention, now I'll see conventionally attractive Zoomer girls wearing while out on the town.
Well, let's look at, I mean, I don't even know if I want to bring this up because this is going to be its own thing. Maybe we could just like do a quick, just run through, fly by it. Hopefully not too long. But all right, so skinny privilege, like when it comes to in regards to like style and dressing and clothing, like
it's definitely most of the time it fits you better.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Like, actually, you know what? I don't even think I was gonna talk about keto. All I'm gonna say about keto is I do keto. That's it. That's all.
That's actually a great amount of things to say about keto. I agree. Let's continue on fashion. I think this is more engaging than talking about diet.
I don't want to talk about keto, but I will say something about your food. Just be careful. Just don't eat too much. That's all I could say.
That's a good rule. Good rule.
Yeah. All right. So as far as like clothing fitting you, when you're
really you want to find an aesthetic that works for you. I mean, you have to experiment around and find that. But when you do, you shouldn't be trying to change with. Maybe you can adapt somewhat with changing trends, or as I said, changing as you get older. You might want to go for something more, not necessarily even more conservative, but less necessarily as hyper put together. You can get relaxed somewhat without
something
being
more
slovenly.
organic.
Yeah, without being as slovenly. Because at a certain point, it just feels too much for your age bracket.
It has to. I guess it has to have like a flow state. It has to. Yeah. It has to cultivate a sense of that flow state.
I agree with that. Yes.
Which is different for everyone, because if you look at like James Bond, he wears like pretty fucking snazzy stuff, but
he's not adapting overly. Like, I don't think these 80s James Bond.
Well, I think Daniel Craig's James Bond is so far. I love him. I mean, I've loved.
Well, it's the end of his.
I know, because he's dead as fuck. But
like 80s James Bond with Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton weren't wearing. To my knowledge, they weren't wearing the boxy, baggy suits of that era.
Bahama.
Yeah, the giant, oversized, not practically, but not the. Bordering on Talking Heads large suits.
I feel that. I've always used I think James Bond can always be used as a good Western model for like that style of conservative,
professional, fancy dress. Yeah,
for a man, for a male.
Formal dress.
If anything, if you think about it, that's really his function. That's what his real purpose is in the movie world. Like in the world of cinema.
Well, there's a couple of different things. I mean, there's being action movies, there's being travelogues.
But we don't have movies we don't have franchises that literally teach a man how to dress.
That's true.
That's what James Bond does. He literally teaches men how to dress.
This has been speculated on, but it'd be really nice to have James Bond just as a period piece. Have him set in the 60s,
in the 1920s or something?
No, like 60s.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it has to be at least after World War II, so that's right.
Right, it has to be Cold War. Because it feels a lot more relevant to the Cold War. Then you can play on nostalgia of that era. You can...
there is a way to do it.
You know what it is? A big factor is that Mad Men showed there is a demand for that kind of thing, and not too many things played into it.
I mean, look, I was gonna. In a way, you kind of got what you. In a way, you got what you wanted, but it's not quite what you had in mind. You ever see The Kingsman?
I have seen the first one.
Did you ever see? You ever hear of the sequel? That's actually like a prequel. It takes place like
in World War I.
Yeah, like before.
I saw a trailer for it. I haven't seen it. I do know it ends with a hilarious stinger ending where Hitler is introduced like he's Thanos, which is a delightfully
grandiose.
It's easy to make fun of, but side note, that actually makes perfect sense. In fact, as time recedes from World War II, it makes more sense to treat it as just another historical event. Despite this, we're having constant propaganda about World War II. You're hearing all the constant references to fascism, to the Nazis, to less so to communism.
All right, wait.
It's actually curious that we have nowadays. I think it's seen as more tactless to have a pulpy, silly depiction of Hitler than it was in the 70s or 80s or 90s even.
Interesting.
Tell me what you think of that. Like, it's suddenly been remoralized.
As in like no longer taboo? No, not as taboo?
No, it's become more taboo.
Oh, more re-tabooed. Like
re-tabooed. As if it should be treated with utmost spiritual significance and weightiness, as opposed to... I mean, I know there's recent Wolfenstein games.
Oh, you
but
mean like that? Like no more like silly depictions of Hitler anymore. Now it's
Yeah.
going to be back to the serious. But that's never went away since British people have always made serious depictions of Hitler. They never skimped on
Americans have
that.
too, but it feels like in the case of the Kingsman, yeah, it kind of the fact that I'm even saying it seems crass. Why am I saying that? Because an exploitation film in like I don't know the 70s wouldn't have had the I mean, it would have been a lowbrow, like gritty, dirty, outside the norm thing. But let me put it this way. There are so many Hitler jokes when I was a kid. On The Simpsons, on other TV shows, movies. I think the remake of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, Rat Race, has Hitler's car as a joke bit in it.
Yeah, and there's also yeah.
The producers was in fucking like the early 70s.
Or
like
Death to
70.
Smoochie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a bunch of 90s things that have Hitler's car references. But I'm rambling around here. But it's actually interesting that the Kingsman got criticism for treating him as just a pulp villain.
I didn't even notice it got criticism, to be honest.
I don't know, maybe it was just on Twitter. But that feels like more organic or more natural for an event that happened going on 80 years ago.
Well, first of all, World War One is the actual historical precedent of that war is still fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
A bunch of dudes who were relatives, cousins, who ran their own little countries decided to go to war over their little fucking little boy schoolyard bullshit. You know, it's
well, that's one framing of it. There's something to it. But it is also, it's like England and France wanted to check Germany. Germany was growing and exerting itself as a power in the world.
Yeah.
It was backed up by older dysfunctional states in the Ottoman Empire and in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which are very much of the past, more so than anything else involved in it. And you're having this confrontation between monarchies with far more power within the monarch versus France and England. But of course, obviously, Russia is super backwards in comparison to all of these. Well, except like Russia's on the level of like, not quite on the level of the Ottoman Empire and how old fashioned it is, but more akin to that or the Habsburgs in Austro-Hungary than it is to England and France. I'm rambling here. But the big factor here was that France and England feared and rightfully understandably were concerned with the confrontation with a continental power in Germany.
all right. So
And Germany wanted to push the war because they felt they were in a strong position at that time to do so.
And then they ended up not doing so hot at the
Yeah.
end at all. So
They were doing very well at the very start of the war. Germany was far more modern of a military than England or France. France went into the war with Napoleonic, colorful uniforms.
all right, listen.
I'm sorry.
Back to what you were saying about
Yeah.
like you wish you had a period piece James Bond movie. Right?
Yeah. Let's go back to that. Go on.
All right. So I think there's a way. The way to do that would be like if there was just another James Bond movie, a modern day James Bond movie, super modern, like could be out in like 2030 or whatever.
Yeah.
James Bond 2030, whatever. And it could be about like a parallel story. There's the mainstay. There's the A plot James Bond, which is the one we all know.
Oh,
But then
okay.
he's doing an investigation on like things that's linked to like Cold War era. That could be like.
That'd be very interesting.
And then
James
there could have
Bond
been a
legacy.
and there could have been a James Bond of a cold, and it's like kind of running a parallel story.
Cutting. Oh, I would actually. That would be really interesting.
Yeah,
actually.
I think that's the way to do
of
it.
cutting between two different Bonds. One who is a Sean Connery Bond, and the other is like a Daniel Craig.
Yeah, one in like the modern era versus like I don't know.
That would actually also solve like complaints of you could have a black James Bond in the modern day,
and then you could have the British one who's like,
Yeah.
you could even have a black female James Bond in the modern day,
Yeah.
and then the classic Cold War James Bond that's being showed in its own,
Yeah.
yeah. It could be like retro future shit too, like when they show like the flashbacks.
Yeah.
That would be nuts. I would love to see that kind of movie.
It is just an interesting franchise that has such legacy appeal and is frankly another like out of World War II thing, given that Ian Fleming was in OSS.
All right, you want to take a real cut
Yeah.
real quick? I just gotta get ice.
Yeah. Yes.
We're only at the hour mark, but the last episode I just posted, it was a good fucking episode, man. This shit I was doing with Brendan.
About addiction.
Yeah,
alcohol.
because it was I don't know. I mean,
it was raw.
Yeah, it was. That's exactly what it was. It was pretty raw, and it was sincere. It was sincere content. We were having sincere discussions. We weren't trying to like posture anything. So I think that was good. Too bad it's probably like I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get any good videos about addiction like that anytime soon. But all right. So James Bond also probably reinforces my alcoholism in a lot of ways because he looks so damn good drinking. You know,
he does. He's a really cool dude when he's drinking. I think you're also a cool dude when you're drinking.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not. You can't say that to a person.
Okay, you look like a huge fucking nerd. You're a huge loser when you're drinking.
See, that's more. That's
you're like a big baby with your sippy cup. Wow, give me more booze.
Yeah. I mean, did you really mean the first thing you said?
Yes, I did actually mean it.
Well, here's the thing.
I retract it though if it's a bad influence.
No, I was just fucking around. I'm just saying, drinking. It's like I don't know. I mean, is there a culture behind it? Do you think there's a culture behind it?
Extremely, especially in Eurasia.
You think there's a skill or an art behind it?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. In style, in both mannerisms, technique, preparation of it, the social environment you're doing it in,
the atmosphere,
politeness, manners around it, the atmosphere, where you go to drink, whether you're drinking alone, the aesthetics of drinking within a group of people, the aesthetics of drinking
the addition under of nicotine,
under different conditions,
the addition of chocolate, the addition of gourmet foods.
Yeah. The addition of driving, the addition of drinking on the street when you're down and out and you just dramatically fling back a flask or a nip of alcohol and you shatter it upon the ground to signify you're at your lowest lows. These are all elements of drinking.
I mean, drinking and driving is a terrible thing. Basically, nobody should be allowed to do it.
I agree. Except for you?
Except for me.
Yeah, I don't even think you should be able to do it, but yes.
Only I should be allowed to do it. As well as text and drive.
Because everyone else, they're going to be fully sober behind the wheel. You're allowed to be a little bit wacky. You're allowed to do a little fun driving.
Yeah, because they'll see me. They'll be sober.
They'll compensate accordingly.
Imagine if, like... well, that's the thing about James Bond. Even James Bond drinks and drives, okay? I guess that kind of comes with the license to kill, and no one really.
Yeah, he can kill with his car when he drives into a family of 4
by accident.
Yeah,
yeah. James Bond is definitely a heavy drinker. He's just a drinker in general. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I guess like he's good in a sense where he's a snappy dresser, but also like he's not a good person to emulate at all. He's kind of a psychopath.
He is,
but he's also a nonconformist, and the reason why, like, a guy like him can only exist in fantasy, but it is fantasy because we want to see what it looks like when a person is the ultimate nonconformist.
That's true. There's that, I forget which movie, I think it's a Sean Connery one, where he makes fun of the Beatles. That was being a nonconformist at the time.
Yeah. And spanking a woman's behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, James Bond, I guess he got a lot of pussy, but that's like an unreasonable standard to ever try to achieve as a human being, no matter who you are. Even if you're the black lady that became the new 007 at the end of the Daniel Craig saga.
But she couldn't cut it, so they had to bring him back.
Did they bring him back?
No, they haven't. He's just
that'll be fucked up.
I mean, within that movie.
That would be so disrespectful if they did bring him back.
Yeah. The Kamala Harris of the movie, yeah.
He doesn't even fucking like being James Bond.
He doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It must be rough with any of these big franchises. You're effectively ending up spending a decade of your life or more. Think of what it's like being Robert
Downey Jr.
Yeah, like
because he was born for that role.
Yeah, but it's still a big, but I'm sure he had a massive payday when the first Iron Man was made. But that's in 2008. You start playing a role in 2008. And then for what? 16 years you're playing that character? Yeah. Well, I don't know why did I say 16 years. I was just guessing. Oh, wait, no, I guessed correctly. Assuming he's in any upcoming movies as the character, which he probably is. It's like you're just going to be a decrepit old man and you're still playing Tony Stark.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's
Same
so funny.
thing with.
It's so funny. We're talking about like getting pussy and we're referencing like these movie characters and like.
Yeah.
I mean, why are all the male role models like fucking rappers and movie stars and actors?
You don't have a lot of real male role models that much anymore, though.
Yeah.
Also, nowadays, your big action stars don't get any pussy. James Bond barely fucks anymore.
I think thanks to the internet, though, like we're starting to realize, like that people who do fucking people who do real things, like things that are like instrumental for a functioning civilization, like scientists and you know, engineers and you know, people like that, like writers. We're starting to discover that they have like actual charisma, actual personalities, actual like personal flaws, depth of character. And thanks to platforms like Twitter and YouTube, we're starting to like discover this in even like what we thought were like some of the most mundane, you know, like
I think a lot of people are performing too on the TikTok.
That's the other end of it. Like you go on Reddit and you see a bunch of like fake nerds, you know, like people who pretend
that's been for a while, but yeah, you're right.
It's like
everyone is consumed by a level of social media induced, internet induced narcissism, vanity, performativeness.
Yeah, which is why like I don't think like, you know, it should be about the pursuit of knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, knowledge is great when you have it. It's just you got to do something with it. You can't just like have knowledge,
pursue it.
Where the most you do with it is just like argue with people on Reddit. It's like
that's true. You're far better to do actual monasticism. But yes,
what's monasticism?
Going into a monastery.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's you have to actually like make tangible things with like the expertise you garner over time in your depth of research and study and experimentation and all that shit. And yeah, so we're starting to discover those guys, they have actual personalities because they're you know, you'll see like an engineer making like, I don't know, like scatological humor jokes on Twitter and you're like, this is weird, but you know, it's funny. It's
engineer fun. Fuck politicians. In general, yeah, there's both a greasing vulgarity and non-professionalism.
Well, that's the thing about politicians. We expect them to be as mundane as like, or at the most like charismatic, but they're just the most dysfunctional public figures of all time on the internet.
They used to be expected to maintain a level of prim properness, which is just totally gone.
It goes out the window when you're on Twitter.
But it's not just them. It's like Elon Musk making the dumbest puns on Twitter. Jeff Bezos, like, walking around like he's the most Cuban man alive.
I think
like,
Elon Musk figured out that
he's the apex redditor, and he needs to lean into that quality.
Well, maybe, yes. In a sense, yes, I do agree with that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, even Elon Musk figured out that if you want to be somebody in this world, you kind of need to build your own internet community on the internet. You need to build your own culture on the internet. You need to have your own culture that like people can like get around. Now, another thing he revealed is that like basically anybody can do it. And that's kind of like the cool part, but also a problem, you know, like, but that's really what it is. It's you know, despite like how lame his culture on the internet fucking really is, because it is fucking lame.
Yeah, he's incredibly lame. Yeah.
It's still just as legitimate as like, you know, whatever culture whatever tribe you'll find on 4chan or fucking whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe even more legitimate because he's a fucking billionaire, you know?
Well, a lot of his community is Indian guys saying, hello, sir, please mention Dogecoin.
Or like Taiwanese.
Yeah. He has a big Indian following, I know.
Oh, yeah. So I think, yeah.
May I?
Yeah. I think what you should really do is you should just fucking, you know, buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin. Yeah. The universal advice, always applicable.
Yeah, Bitcoin is definitely it's gonna help a lot with your pussy getting endeavors probably, because if you buy Bitcoin now with the money that you can't afford to lose, you know, with the money you absolutely need to keep and you can't afford to lose that, that's what you should use to buy Bitcoin. because you're not going to find anything worth investing with as much fidelity as Bitcoin that you can afford. You, the viewer, you one of the 16
Lucky
people
few.
tops. Yeah, the lucky few who's gleaning this wisdom. I don't know. Maybe more people will listen to it in the future, but whoever is listening to this now on whatever this day in 2024, July 1st, yeah, you should definitely start looking into buying some Bitcoin, and you'll be saved a lot of heartache if you do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
because it's anti-inflationary. I don't know if I call it deflationary,
or it's
but
enforced,
it's inflation.
it's enforced scarcity.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want perfect money, it has to be a commodity, and it can't be a commodity without some kind of like guaranteed scarcity, and that's what Bitcoin offers because of its underlying technology and its design and its engineering. It's very brilliant. We never had
buy
anything,
Bitcoin.
we're never gonna find anything as good as that in probably a long time. Just because, like, logically, like as a thought, even as like a thought experiment, like it just just because the nature. First of all, it's like we caught ourselves already in the Bitcoin trap before we ever even conceived of a Bitcoin trap, just by the structure of the internet, of our society, of our modern technology. It's got to be Bitcoin. If you look at AI, and these AI get more sophisticated, and they're going to do like transactions on our behalf to each other, like AIs.
It's all going to be in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's all going to be, even without us knowing.
In the future.
Yeah, we'll feed our AI computer AI's dollars.
In heaven, we'll be trading in Bitcoin.
Oh shit, that's powerful. That's what I tell Christians.
Yeah.
The Lord trades in Bitcoin. All right.
In heaven, I need to write this one down. But continue. I'm sorry for looking at my phone.
No, it's like, I stand before the congregation to let you know that the Lord trades in Bitcoin. When the Lord bestows his blessings upon the angels that he keeps close by him beyond the pearly gates in the kingdom of our Father in heaven, the Lord sometimes has to make transactions. And when he makes transactions, do you think the Lord uses US dollars? I mean, Lord knows I love US dollars as much as any other red-blooded American, but the truth of the matter is the Lord needs something faster. The Lord needs something that could transcend the boundaries of physical time and space as we know it. All right? My beloved community, I'm just here to tell you, the Lord, our Father, our Savior, gives us his blessing as he gives us access to the same heavenly currency used up in heaven, and that is Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, we must spread Bitcoin with love, not hate. We must spread Bitcoin. Even your enemies, if they're to do the right thing and live by the Lord, even they too will trade and buy Bitcoin and never sell Bitcoin. So yeah, that's how it would sound.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin.
Maybe I should run this grift somehow, like spiritual Bitcoin.
That's actually would be a great grift to get into. I think there's a lot of alpha in that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Bitcoin's a good solution, I think. I'm actually, it gives me a lot of hope. Bitcoin is hope amidst chaos, because Bitcoin thrives in chaos, and Bitcoin literally represents
a chaotic place. There's a lot of chaotic things going on.
And the more chaotic things get, the more hopeful Bitcoin looks.
For instance, just look at the debate recently.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we agree not to talk about politics in an actual like horse race kind of way. I mean, tell me if I'm changing the subject too abruptly.
No. What I just have one question. We're going to continue on with this subject regardless of what you answer here, but I still want to ask: Do you think women are talking about the debate too? Do you think they think?
No, heavens no. Women hate politics.
You think this would help us get pussy?
Women hate politics, and they probably resent, but they won't say it, that during the Trump era, they were expected to all be political when they clearly had no interest in it. It was very frustrating for me.
You're ruining hot girl summer with your gay politics.
It was always frustrating for me because politics was always a hobby of mine, and I just saw it as a team sport.
And here come these girls coming in.
Yeah, they ruined it. And also everyone being so sanctimonious about it. But yeah, definitely women hate it, but they still engage in it. It's a very unpleasant part of the Trump era, which will be coming back.
It made it very volatile, very incendiary.
Very difficult to maneuver socially.
Yep. We were just lamenting about friends people might have lost.
Yeah.
Throughout like that whole debacle of 2016.
I mean, perhaps it would have happened anyway, which is a curious question.
Had
Hillary won, well, these same social phenomena would have still been ongoing.
No, that's an excellent Excellent point. Because what happened, it was a watershed moment, especially for people's insecurities. And we're talking about everybody across the board, like women's insecurities with like they were the ones that felt in their bones something was terribly, terribly wrong. They were which is why like it started with that fourth wave feminism bullshit. That's when homeostasis was first disrupted. Me Too. Yeah. Shit like that. When abused women in the workplace stood up and were like, no, we're not taking this anymore. And they started like outing the actual like predators and shit in their workplaces like all over and causing a chain reaction. That was step one. And then after that was like the racial shit. That was
it's interesting. You see this in like 2014. That was like the high watermark of real feminism focus, and then it turned to race. Yeah, like a key tipping point was that one day of walking in New York as a woman, where and they were all black and Hispanic, and then like there was backpedaling, and they were like, "No, white guys catcalled her, but we didn't catch them on mic."
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And then the accusation of clearly this is a racial dog whistle. When really they just weren't thinking about it. But it was just of that era. That video could only come out in 2014. That was like the perfect time for it.
It was like a chef's kiss moment.
Yeah,
of like it was.
Like, because right around that time or right before it, there was a whole bunch of things. I don't have a good term for this, but there was a whole like on all your Jezebels, your BuzzFeeds, within that Condé Nast media empire. There was a whole subgenre of women complaining about black men and then blaming all men. And they were referring just to New York City.
Yeah. Yo, actually, you know what?
You know, like the whole anti-man spreading thing
also
is just black guys.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Also, did you know like one of the biggest racial events that sparked like that kind of fed the fuel transition from like fourth wave feminism into the racial super consciousness? It was it happened right in Staten Island. You remember Kevin Garner?
Yes.
Right in Staten Island, dude.
Oh, damn, I was here, huh?
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
Right by the ferry.
Yeah.
We drive by like every time.
Yeah, I know. There was a whole bunch of non-events that media blew up to huge phenomena. I mean, like a real significant one was Trayvon Martin, accompanied by Obama talking about it. I remember when that happened, it's like, I remember thinking, this should be at best a police blot or local story.
And then everyone got fucking really high, huffing them The Wire reruns.
Yeah.
Those are good fucking show.
It's a good show. If you combine The Wire with The Sopranos, you actually have a good depiction of crime in America. Yeah. The problem with The Wire, which is still a great show, is that it leans too hard on making everything practical material decisions. And that show is adverse to depicting black criminals' sociopathy and stupidity.
Yeah.
There's some of it, but it leans way too hard on this is a reasonable economic decision when, like, Stringer Bell in real life would be high up in a corporation. Yeah. A guy that's smart and sociopathic, even if he's a sadist, he's going to get out of
some record company as like at least a fixer for some billionaire rapper.
He would get out of the gangster game because it's too petty and it's too dangerous.
Meanwhile, rappers are soft, and he could bully the shit out of rappers.
Yeah, he would get into something more prestigious, something safer, and something more profitable. Because there are guys like that, and they get out of the game. To stay in it, you kind of have to be... You're not that smart unless you like...
OGs treat like their rappers under them, like at the same, like famous rappers under them, the same way they treat like hoes, you know?
Yeah.
Like fucking sluts, like pimps treat hoes. Mm-hmm. They're like, you're my bitch. You know, you got to pay your tribute to me, son.
Yeah, just look at P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Who turned R&B movie into RYB music. Ram your pussy.
Oh, my God. Yo, P. Diddy, that motherfucker. Well, we all knew. Like, everyone knew.
Yeah.
Everyone knew he was a little funny. Everyone knew he was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone knew. He was a weirdo. He was one of those weird artsy weirdos. I don't think he's like psycho. I just think he's a fucking artsy weirdo. But I do think that once you give a weirdo, an artsy weirdo, that much power
and that little oversight.
And they're going to get really esoteric and really dark, you know? And they're probably gonna get in real goods with like, you know, some really heavy hitters and like.
I know, and didn't like Cat Williams talked about all this and about like P Diddy telling him he could suck his dick or whatever.
Well, we know that Hollywood, there's some mafia type structure.
Yeah.
There's some like dark
Pink mafia, but yes.
Yeah, there's some dark kind of mafia influence, and it's vaguely government or corporate related. I don't think it's the government related. I think it's more like companies own the government, companies own Hollywood, companies own the military. It's all ultimately all corporate. It's corporate entities. You know, it's like shell companies upon shell companies upon shell companies.
I think there's a lot of like mutual ownership of different businesses where when you look at everyone's owning everyone else. But yes.
Yeah, and it's like usually like when it's almost like to move up in like the real, not like the circus, not like the show of power, which is like Washington D.C. and Congress. Like, I mean, the Senate's probably do have some modicum of real power, but like everything else is just like mostly bullshit, you know. And that being said, there's definitely forces that are higher than those guys, which are ultimately corporate entities. You know, like tangibly, that's the only thing they can be to operate in like our known vector of like fucking reality that we could tangibly interact with. So it's like, it's almost like to move up. It's like politics is just a stepping stone. Like after you do your stint as senator, then you move up into some like heavy duty like corporate whatever, or maybe that's your retirement plan. You know, like you retire into owning a share or a seat on the board in some like military contracting company or some shit, you know? A major one at that. Like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, those guys are real scary dudes. I mean, like if you want to think about the people that build up like the ornery groups like the World Economic Forum, think like those companies, like military contracting companies, the companies that government militaries go to get shit, you know, like those are the guys you have to look out for. So yeah, aside from that, getting pussy. How does the military industrial complex help you get pussy? Well, if you know how to leverage the military industrial complex, in a way you could join the military. Yeah. And if you don't die, I mean, it seems
that's pretty rough because you see a lot of the women military guys are with, and it's like, I don't know.
It's at least being better. It's better than being a cop, in my opinion. I'd rather join the military than be well, at least when there's no war going on. Yeah. I'd rather do my stint in the fucking military than be a cop because.
Sure.
Or if I was gonna be a cop, I'd rather do military first, then be a cop.
Yeah. You get less shit as someone in the military for sure. It probably feels less soul draining. You're dealing with less stupid people. A lot of it's just the bureaucracy of the organization you're dealing with.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah. Can do it for a few years.
A pound of flesh a day. That's what it is.
Yeah. Cop, you just have to while through a couple of 20 years or whatever, and then you can just collect your pension indefinitely.
Yeah.
But during that time, you're dealing with a lot of just the worst of society, of people giving you shit constantly.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like the modern soldier who like does their tour, fulfills their contracts, they get out, they get their GI Bill with all their limbs.
Yeah. Which is a lot of them because the vast majority of people in the military are personnel other than grunts.
But I think the most logical outcome after that is getting into the private sector using the skills you acquired, which would involve you either getting into private security, private military engineering, like research and development in terms of like military technology or security technology or some shit like that. Intelligence, maybe, even private intelligence.
Or just any job, frankly, because not a lot of people know this. But there's affirmative action for veterans.
Of course, there has to be.
No, well, but usually a large amount of it. As a white guy, if you want affirmative action, join the military.
Well, the military itself isn't it kind of like getting involved with a fraternity?
Yeah,
and it's a network in and of itself.
But no, I mean overtly, companies want to hire veterans because it's like a legal benefit to them, a government vendor. Yes, and honestly, they have like quotas, I think, even for a certain number of veterans in some cases. I'm not talking about like military industrial complex stuff. I mean, any job, a telecommunications job, you benefit hugely from being a veteran. You can be some logistics guy. You can be repairing Humvees in Germany, and after 4 years, you get out, and you're more capable of being hired at any single company in the USA.
True. Or you could just be the mechanic at the police station.
Yeah, or a regular auto mechanic, or even a regular auto mechanic that isn't expected or doesn't have to. Doesn't have to fulfill human resources standards. The owner is probably going to be a Republican, and he's going to be excited to hire a veteran.
Working at a car dealership.
Yeah, a car dealership is exactly the kind of person that is going to be very enthused to hire a veteran.
Dude, if I that would be the first job I would do if I was like hard. I mean, I don't know if I would be good at it. That's the problem, to be like a car salesman.
Oh, I had a brief stint as a car salesman.
Really?
I was terrible at it. I
Really?
flamed out. Yeah, like 3 weeks to a month.
What was the
worked it.
problem? Like, what'd you have a hard time with?
Oh, I was just anxious with it, and I just was like, I'm way over my head trying to memorize all this stuff about car dealing and like the minutia of it. I just wasn't cut out for it.
Well, if you like cars, I mean,
I don't. That's a factor right there. But yeah.
I guess also the hardest part is working off commission. It's like you got to kind of you have to be like a predator. In a way. You can't be passive. You have to be.
That's true.
You have to be aggressive, like literally a predator.
Yeah.
A hunter of just like getting pussy. If you want to get good at getting pussy, be a car salesman. If you're good at selling cars, I'm sure you'll be good at getting pussy.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a good car salesman having trouble getting pussy.
I agree with that. You really have to be pushing, yeah.
Also, like, I can't imagine being a good car salesman because I can't imagine ever getting duped by a good car salesman.
Yeah.
I'm never going to walk into a car dealership and buy a car that way, ever. Unless it's some gaudy, over-the-top, excessive luxury vehicle that I could afford from... Yeah, I'm not going to fucking ever go into a car dealership to buy a fucking car. It's always going to be some stupid fucking handshake deal from a guy on the internet, you know?
Yeah.
Because this is the modern world. We don't do that shit anymore, you know? Like, we go on the internet, we buy cars off Facebook Marketplace, and we end up having to do full engine swaps, but that car still runs, okay? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way of doing things.
Yeah. Also, another good tip to getting pussy, get a fucking driver's license, man. Like, don't be one of those boys who don't drive. You can't be a boy who doesn't drive, man. I don't care if you're a city boy. You got to figure out a way to like learn how to drive. I mean, the worst city to learn how to drive, I'll admit, is New York City.
Yeah, greatest city in the world, baby.
But the worst city to learn how to drive.
Once you do it, you're in.
I'm blessed though, because I live in a part of New York City that everyone dogs on.
Yeah, but you can't. You at least can. You have space for a car here, and you're expected to drive here.
Yeah, and and it's not honestly not that far from the rest of the city. It's just people. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, it's like when something. You ever notice when something's a good idea, when something is a good concept, or it's a good thing to do, but it's like a novel concept. People like always reject it.
Yes.
And there's always the people who like embrace it and they win, obviously. Yeah. And then everyone else follows, but you know, that's not even like a profound observation. It's just, I guess, trying to talk up my home borough in a fancy way, but it's really not that impressive.
I know. You are Staten Island's greatest defender.
I don't even defend it. I do not even defend it.
Good, sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry for my disruptive coughing. Continue.
No, you have to clear your throat. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so the elections, the debates. I'm sure that's on like a lot of people's minds right now.
I don't know, because as we were saying previously, it's been very pleasant of a year of how little people have been talking about the election, about debates, but all the news of the day regarding it, because it's a rerun, because it's a remake.
Deal. You say it's pleasant because there was a time when you were a child.
All dominating.
No, there was a time when you were a child. When every time an election came, it was exactly how we see it now. It's exactly just this thing that passes by, something I don't really have to worry about, something for the grown-ups to figure out. I don't have to
Well, when
care
I was
anymore.
a kid, I was paying attention to it.
You didn't have to, though.
I didn't have to.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah,
the fun
yeah.
part,
Yeah.
is that I could just, because as I said before,
It's like
maybe
getting
right
into
now,
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, it was just a hobby for me. Politics was a hobby, and I was very excited when an election would happen, both midterm and general.
Yes, sir.
Because it would be like, ooh, I'm going to see what the race is going on. Ooh, I'm interested in the polling. I want to see where this is going. And then everyone started talking about it, being so catastrophizing and so serious about it, and it ruined my fun. I was really one of the main factors that made me depressed during 2017 through 2020 was that everyone was talking about my hobby in a very dumb way. And I wanted to engage with people on it, but it really was pointless. I still tried again and again and again, and got burned by it again and again and again because I can't learn from my lessons, or I can't back down.
What it told you, what it should teach you, is that politics is not a team hobby. It's a solo hobby.
Yeah.
It's not a hobby that you could socialize with. It's not good for that. It's
It
something
was at one point, but that was because most people weren't interested in it, and the people that were interested in it didn't get too worked up about it most of the time. So I was able to just have, well, frankly, I was a kid and having pleasant conversations with adults, or like my dad's friends.
But
Saying,
that is
like,
all it
what
is,
do you
right?
think about this or that? What?
But that is all it is. Ultimately,
Yeah.
it's just a hobby.
And it was interesting, or talking in my teen years with other guys like me, and we all had our, our sports commentary, our political commentary, where we were like theorizing about what would happen.
Oh my god, this makes me think of like the gayest words I've ever heard, which is political awakening.
Yeah, that is.
I fucking hate the words
Yeah.
together. Political awakening.
So it wasn't awakening for me. It was just like I just developed it as an interest.
Yeah.
I got opinions, certainly strong ones, but it was always secondary to the love of the game.
When they were saying like the first Trump election was like a political
But
awakening.
it wasn't, because people weren't actually learning anything about electoral politics. They weren't actually thinking about how things worked. They weren't in any way being strategic or sensible. They didn't learn about their local politics. They didn't learn about
You know what I just realized? I wasn't really like into politics as a hobby. You know what I was into?
What?
Like war. Like military
Yeah, I was
shit.
into that too.
Yeah. I would, but not that deeply.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you were probably way more.
Probably,
into,
yeah.
I was never into it that deeply, but for me, I had no choice because when you're a kid growing up and you live in a household with an adult male, you don't get to control the remote.
Yeah.
Right? So back in the 90s,
Yeah.
there was only one thing an adult male would put on cable television, and that he was like really genuinely interested in.
A&E History
Channel, Military Channel, yeah. But I had no choice but to watch it. I had no choice but to watch like fucking like Gunnery Sergeant Gunny, like fucking drone on about the Vietnam
What's your
War.
favorite World War II fighter, or favorite World War II plane?
Plane?
Yeah.
The Mustang.
Mustang's a good choice. I've always been a fan of the Zero.
The Japanese one?
Yeah.
Isn't that just built to like crash into fucking warships?
It was built with like speed and firepower and not durability. It was like this maneuverable, fast, could deliver its payload.
Well, the best
it
planes,
was not expected to return home. You're correct.
The best planes were German built, but the problem was they weren't.
Germans over-engineer everything.
Yeah,
they over-engineer tanks. They over-engineer guns, ships.
But that was the problem with because they had the best planes, but America, for every like squadron of 4 German planes.
This is the case with American versus German industrialism, is that for any 1X the Germans build, America built 10 of the same thing.
But also the problem with that model is China just did that like also and beat America at its own game. They were like, yo, we could do like for every 10 you build, we could like build 100.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be like, and the best thing is like modern Chinese like engineering, like especially military tech that they copy from the US, they get 98% of it right. 98% of it of all stolen like military spying, industrial spying, they get 98% of it right. But that 2%, oddly enough, makes a hell of a difference.
That 2% is what prevents it from exploding.
I mean, yeah, like if you think about like certain tolerance cases, but but in general, like especially
makes a big difference in performance and durability. And
also,
efficiency.
we think like you know, maybe 98% of a gun is okay.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, 98% of a Humvee, like copy. But then 98% of this and that and this. Eventually, it adds up. It's
It
like
has this cumulative effect, negative effect.
yeah. So it's like this major deficiency over like a long, which is hilarious. Like when I realized that, I was like, China's like fucking hilarious. Like they're just a funny, silly Billy people. You know?
A very funny civilization, a distinctly odd civilization, uniquely uncharismatic.
Yeah.
They are the closest thing to like an alien civilization on Earth.
Yeah, someone described them as like insects with really high IQ. You know, maybe they are. Maybe Chinese, maybe Asians, East Asian. The phenotype really is ultimately just like if
There's a high tendency towards conformism
or unity.
Yes, true.
But there is also a case to be made for Asian exceptionalism and individuality in a certain case, you know?
Any individual skill, like some of the top people of it are going to be East Asian.
Yeah, because they take it to its, you know.
But then like the majority of the practitioners are not going to be.
But the truth is about like the Asian masters, like let's say the best Asian cellist in like a certain division or a certain age group or whatever.
Yeah.
That top Asian guy, I bet you he didn't get to the top because he was fixated on getting to the top. The thing that Asians do better than Westerners is literally just letting go of the ego when you're doing something. It's like it's like, let's say like from my example, like I'm practicing swordsmanship. Suddenly it's like I forget about the I forget about the me, and I just become one with the process. Like I shed this idea, like as I'm swinging that sword.
Zen concept.
Yeah, it's literally like I'm just letting go of me for a bit. It's basically letting go of the steering wheel, you know, and letting like the practice take over. You know, letting this foreign programming take over. Because if you look at a martial art training session, this is how it always goes, especially with like the Japanese framework of like a Japanese martial art. You go into a day, you do your bow and ceremony, and then you do like 10 punches, then 10 kicks, then 10 blocks, and you do your whole routine of every like basic tool in your tool set. You just repeat every practice, whatever you do. You know, different classes are different classes, but no matter what, you start with your basics, and you always train in that. Your basic punches, basic kicks, all that, and then you'll do that specified class for like grappling or striking, further striking, or like other esoteric shit like wood breaking and learning how to like punch through targets and shit. So like other stuff like that. And there's a certain pattern, you know, there's like a certain routine that's like set aside from like, you know, the variations, which is really what they're instilling in you. It's like the reason why, like, even if every class is technically different, they always start out the same. They always start out with the same exercise, the bodily exercises that we do in synchronicity and unison. They do the same striking exercise we do in unison, you know? So it gives you that sense of just like depersonalization, you know, kind of like dissociation, and you just become one with.
Sounds like dissociation.
In a sense, yeah. But not in a dysfunctional way, but in more
of course, yeah.
It's like a sequence of it. It's to put you in a state of consciousness that makes you more able to take in martial knowledge, martial wisdom. And funnily enough, the whole point of martial arts training, like, I mean, not even the point, like the way martial arts training is most efficient is when you take a student and like, let's say you just walk into the school, they just walk into the dojo, ready to train for the day. You know, you only get them for like an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever. Your main prerogative as a teacher is to like put them through the beginning exercise and get them as tired as possible, so that when they start practicing the real techniques, they won't try to muscle through everything. They'll have to use like real body mechanics. So martial arts is never really about strength. It's never about being like so strong.
Technique.
Yeah, it's really about learning how to like leverage your body in a way where it doesn't take strength, really, if you do it right. All it takes is proper mechanics, conscious, you know, movement. So yeah, that's what Asians can kind of, I guess, like do, like when it comes to like learning stuff like that. You can't learn stuff like that while you're caught up with, well, how does Carmen look right now? Is Carmen dressed for the occasion for this martial arts training? Is Carmen smell right for this martial arts training? Is Carmen saying the right things? Is he, you know, you got to forget all that shit. You just got to be a baby. You know, you just got to be like,
forget yourself, and
you got to be like a mutt, like a mag. You're a maggot again. You
You're
break
not
down.
a purse. This is not you as the individual, you as the self. This is the performer of this technique.
But then after the session's over, then we do the trick where we break out the beers and then we're all
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, it feels good, and you talk about it like normal people instead of martial arts people. You switch back. You switch back to the normal modes. That's why like the drinking is like kind of like a important aspect after, which is funny.
Foreign social ritual. And we were
I don't
talking
know if it's
about
the healthiest
before
thing either,
about
yeah.
cultural norms around drinking. I think that's a big factor. Drinking really enables social ease among Eurasians.
Freedom in a cup.
For whites and East Asians in particular, drinking is very crucial to being able to really
Turn it on.
bond with
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Turn off the excellence.
Yeah.
Same
Turn
for
off-
Germans. Why do you think Germans drink so much? Because they can't be excellent all the time.
Yeah. And the Germans are like the Chinese of whites.
Yeah.
They love industry and they love bureaucratic rules.
They have low tolerances.
Yeah.
They take everything because to them, to be precision means peace.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, precision means less mistakes, less room for misunderstandings. But the problem is, if you eliminate friction, you eliminate progress. If you eliminate volatility, you eliminate value ultimately. Like the reason why Bitcoin can't just move in a straight line upwards, like
Yes.
like up diagonally, it's because that's not how progress works on a fundamental energetic level. You don't get energy from like just two materials staying still. You get energy when they're moving against each other. That's when you generate
The
heat.
friction, yeah.
That's when you generate heat energy. That's when you generate movement. That's when you generate kinetic energy. The result of like kinetic output. And so this is why friction's important. And I don't know, especially when it comes to like I guess getting pussy. You can't expect to get pussy peacefully. I mean, I'm not. That sounds like really like.
Yeah, you have to use force.
No. That sounds really ornery. Is that the right word? Ornery? Yeah.
No, ornery means being angry, mean,
it sounds
belligerent.
ominous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's not as ominous as it sounds. What I mean is, you have to be proactive on yourself, and peace and like passive with other people. Meaning, you have to let other people be as much of them as they want, and you have to be super duper conscious and disciplined of yourself. That's the way to be. At least that's my take on it anyway. Like, so if you're super aggressive on yourself, then things like pussy will just naturally gravitate its way towards you. Especially like sometimes it's like unwanted pussy, sometimes it's.
I've had plenty of that, yes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say I've had it as bad as any woman, but I've definitely been sexually like assaulted as a cute little Asian boy on the subway plenty of times.
Yeah.
Usually by
Reverse groping.
Usually by a certain ethnicity of women that I will not name, of a certain body shape that
Yeah.
I will not
Interesting. Oh, my condolences. My condolences, man.
You don't even know. I didn't say anything, okay? You don't even know who I am.
Oh, I think we all, 90% of the time when someone is being coy or using euphemisms around race.
Oh, we all know who they're talking
about. Yeah.
It could be anyone, I'm just saying, But yeah, every time I've been sexually harassed, it's been of a certain ethnicity of a woman that, I'm not really going to specify. In a certain...
Okay, yeah. She's very tan and she's fat and they sexually harass you. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Nah, it's all good. I mean...
that's a fascinating dynamic anyway.
Yeah, I think I don't know what it is. I especially even when I'm on dating apps, like the same demographic that always like seems to really be into
Any hotties? Or do you not pick up the hotties?
No, it's like I look at their profiles and it's just so
Konnichiwa.
yeah.
I'm a black anime girl.
It's one or two things. It's either like that, like weeb shit, or it's either like really passive aggressive against men or something.
Oh, okay. I see.
Like oh, you're not looking for long-term marriage. Good for you. Have fun being immature. I'm looking for blah. And I'm like, oh,
But yeah,
my
why?
fucking-
This is such a negative like output to put into your dating profile, but you
Yeah.
probably just have had really bad experience.
That's what I was thinking. So that's why I didn't. blame-
Yeah, which is a reason to feel bad for
I
them,
had
but
sympathy.
to avoid them. Yeah,
I had sympathy, but I
yeah.
also, I didn't want.
But anyway, yeah, the weeb shed is way better, and also some of the weeb ones are very hot.
Yeah, not all of them. though.
Maybe not the ones you're getting, but
Here's the thing about people who watch anime. 99. Well, I don't. That's unfair. That's a really.
you get swiped on by a black girl whose eyes are a little bit far apart. She says, "I have that grippy sock shit, and I've
God.
never dated a black man."
Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Anyway, but the fucking
Yeah, sorry, go on.
no. The if you're a weeb, right? The chances are you watch a lot of anime.
Mm-hmm.
And like 99% is an ungenerous like statistic, ungenerous amount. But like mostly, if you watch a lot of anime, you're gonna be doing a lot of time sitting on your ass,
Yeah,
not exercising, probably
that's
eating,
true. Yeah,
probably eating shit that you can't bother to like really prepare because you
Yeah.
miss out on anime time
yeah,
and you're gonna get really fat.
yeah.
So something about weebie-ness and obesity. Yo, that those notebooks are sick. Look at that. The one you just had your hand over.
Ooh, yeah.
No, to the right of that. To the right of that. Right. That thing. Yeah. Look at that. That is like the Ferrari of notebooks.
Ooh,
To my specifications.
wow, that's a beautiful the
Numbered-
German name.
Like numbered pages.
Lecterm 1917.
Numbered dotted pages. The numbered pages had me so because I have to number my pages when I journal for some reason.
Yeah,
And
everything's in German. Yeah, that's something Germans fucking love. I could see why. It's a very Germanic interest.
Yeah.
Sage notebook.
Dude, journaling is a magical practice. I mean, if you guys are listening to this,
Writing by hand is thinking on paper. Thoughts grow into words, sentences, and pictures. Memories become stories. Ideas are translated into projects. Notes inspire insight. We write and understand, learn, see, and think with the hand. Damn, yeah, that's the one part of it in English.
that goes hard, bro.
It goes really hard, yeah.
Journaling goes hard. All right, listen.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're trying to get pussy. I don't care if you're in college. I don't care if you're trying to get a job as a.
The three different kinds of people: those who are trying to get pussy, those who are in college, and those who are trying to get a job.
Anyway, yeah. If you're one of those three people, you gotta journal. You gotta be a draftsman. You have to keep a journal and write in it every single day. And you will never show anyone what you write in this journal. You will never show people your journal entries. Those are only for you, but you have to write it. You have to physically do it. You have to get up in the morning. You have to open up to a blank page in your journal, date it, and write an entry. And if you need a format for an entry, this is my format. I'm not saying you have to do this, but you can if you want to. So my first section is what's new, current events, what's new, what new events have transpired in my life that I could account for that I haven't yet. Then it's how my physical body is doing, the state of my physical body. Then it's the state of my mind, like what's taking up space in my brain, what's taking up space in my mind, in my mental space. And then finally, the fourth part is how I'm feeling emotionally. What are the emotions that are swirling in my belly, in my heart, and in my groin area? Because there's a lot of emotional energy there too.
Yeah.
Like for everyone, well, throughout your whole body actually, especially up towards the middle column. But that's a different topic. But anyway, you should definitely journal, and that's my format for journaling. Is current events, mind, body, or body, mind, then soul, mind, or body, then mind, then emotions. But yeah, everyone should. You should journal. You know
You're
what?
right, I should.
Yeah. You should. We should all fucking do it. And the sad part is, it's not something that you're gonna be known for. Like you're not gonna. I mean, you can, but I don't recommend it. Like I think that has to be a personal, very deeply introspective practice. It has to be something you do for yourself. But what I do know is that when you do journal, it literally makes a writer out of you. And I will say this: when you're a content creator, you're technically always a writer first. No matter what kind of content you're creating, you're going to be writing about it first. You're going to be writing a format. You're going to be writing a plan. You're going to be writing a list. You're going to be writing, whatever. You have to write. You have to be a writer if you're going to be any kind of content creator. And so that's my advice for not even getting pussy, but just for life. Yeah. You need to do this, boys and girls. everyone just needs to keep a journal. Journaling is very, 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 very important. And it's funny too. I noticed the shit that I post on Facebook is like has changed a lot since I started journaling. You know, it's like almost like
How has it changed?
I think everyone has a writer's voice that they aren't necessarily conscious
Cultivating
of, or conscious,
speaking in, yeah.
or or they do speak in it. They're just not conscious of it. So it doesn't. If you're not conscious of it, it's never going to grow. It's never going to evolve. It's never going to develop. It's only going to develop as if you could identify it, like what you're using when you write is about the same as like the cadence of the way you speak, the pitch of like, you know, or the speed or the pauses you use, or you know, like whatever depth or gravity you decide to put using tone, all that shit. You know, that's all a skill. You know, that's all like a kind of a very esoteric and vague skill too, if you think about it. Like the gift of gab.
Yeah.
Whether it's in written form or spoken word, you know, like I respect it a lot. Like every time I see it in other people, I mean, I don't even know if I have it. I think I do. Sometimes I feel like I do. Sometimes I feel like I don't. But, you know, like I think for me, instead of having like, for me, it's not about always having something to say. It's just always keeping an open heart. That's what always keeps me like good in any conversation. You know, like I've never tripped up with words because I'm just going to be honest about how I feel. You know, like if someone tells me something, I would just be, and if I don't get it, I'll just be like, I feel like I'm, you know, like a child, you know, that was just told a crazy concept because that's how I feel. You know, I could just be like honest about the way I'm experiencing, you know, this interaction and all that shit. So for me, my trick is to just sincerity, is to just be sincere about the shit you say, and conversation will generally go peacefully. I don't know if it'll go productively, but I know it'll go peacefully, you know? Because, you know, like, I feel like a lot of people have trouble with keeping a conversation going and all that stuff, which is an essential skill, especially if you're
interacting with people a lot. That's an essential skill for anyone at any time.
Like a bartender.
Yes.
Or a businessman or a secretary or a call center person or a salesperson. Yeah, these are things you're gonna have to learn how to do. And this is why like spiritual consciousness, like raising your consciousness to that spiritual level will allow you to divert energy. Even when you're flirting with girls, you know, you're gonna see where their attention energy is drawn to. You're going to see the things they care about. We were talking about this before. We were talking about how like stories, you got to see the narrative that like
women love their little narratives.
So just be that narrative. You know, if you see a girl you like, the least you could do is, you know, like keep her bring her fantasy to life. You know, like, bring that story to life. And that's the creative act. That's like being an artist. So if you're an artist, you should really be good at this. You should be good at like, you know, being this fantasy for like, you know, the girl you want. I mean, the problem is like there's guys. Actually, none of those. The problem is girls have no taste. Because you got these girls that, if guys are willing to become the narrative for the women. Yeah. Now the question is, it's up to the women now. Like, what kind of narratives are they desiring? And if like the majority of women are desiring the same flavor, the same genre, then you're gonna have a massive amount of guys being like playing out like like Mr. Grey from fucking 50 Shades of Grey, you know, like if you're gonna make it a trend,
Darcy from Pride and Prejudice.
Exactly, you're gonna see a majority of the men play out that, you know, fantasy, you know. So it's really on the women, and if women have a problem with the narratives that the guys are portraying, it's because it's probably their fault.
It is their fault. Well, as with most things, it's women's fault.
No, I don't mean it like that, but yeah, it is that. But I'm saying like for this case, it is that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a taboo to blame women on anything. You know, like we don't want to blame women for anything. I don't want to say
it's a weird dynamic. I mean, there's a bunch of
I don't want to say
biological reasons not to.
I don't want to say no to a woman,
but women are in a more prominent place in society, so they ought to be held to a higher standard than they might have been in the past when they weren't as involved in society.
Well, it's
this is one of the many dynamics of a mixed sex society that we haven't worked out yet.
So would you not say power? The dynamic of power has shifted from something that was once tangible and material to something more abstracted.
Yeah, it's shifted from a masculine to a feminine power.
Yes.
In many ways, our society has become much more feminine. I'm saying that as a...
Not like a man or woman type or taste.
Right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that like, descriptively.
In terms of
not
polarity.
making any kind of normative statement
like
about it. I'm not saying that's good or bad.
You're talking
I'm
about
saying,
like polarity, like negative and positive on a magnet.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about whether that's good or bad. I'm saying this purely as a descriptive quality.
It's just polarity. It's just the law of polarity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to go back. It's going to swing back. It's always that's just what we're doomed to. As long as we have consciousness, is going to, things are always going to like click back and forth. But you know what I do think? I don't think it moves like in a circle. I think people's minds are very comfortable with like cyclical things, like salutes.
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's more distressing than that. Now, what happened? Like like in your 2-dimensional view, you see a circle. What happens if you clip that circle and you just let it like keep running energetically? It's going to make a spiral.
Yeah.
And the thing about spirals is people like the human brain isn't comfortable with spirals. They prefer the human brain prefers.
Yeah, that's why Uzumaki is such a disturbing manga.
What about Uzumaki?
Because it's all about spiral. It's because it means spiral.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I mean it's true. Like you're more used to the idea of things being the way they are always going to be forever. What you are not comfortable with is everything that you've ever known is leading up to a thing, and everything that you will know and never get to know is also leading up to another thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like because your mind is just going to be like, well, where does it all lead to? Where's the top of the spiral? Where's the tip?
Yeah.
And the truth is there is.
Yeah, like Gurren Lagann.
Yeah. And that's the scary part.
Yeah.
The distressing part. So yeah, our human brains are more comfortable with this recursive loop of all I got to do is find a bitch, have a baby, that baby will grow up, find a bitch, have another baby, and et cetera, et cetera. But it's not like that. It's you find a bitch and together you might end up as instrumental parts of a revolution and end up being the reason why millions of people die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Anyway, Chris, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm just waiting to finish this joint, and then we could pretty much about wrap this episode up. But yeah, it was a pretty productive episode. We covered all the important shit.
Yeah,
we covered
ground we normally don't cover too, which is great.
We also covered. Did we cover Joe Rogan yet?
No, we were going to talk about Joe Rogan with Terrence Howard and Eric Weinstein talking about philosophy of mathematics, because Terrence Howard has become very fixated on it. Terrence Howard does not believe 1 times 1 should equal 1. He believes it should equal 2.
Okay, shit like that is quack. But
yeah,
other things he's saying, very few.
That's
things,
true. Yeah,
other things are like pretty crazy.
Yeah,
things regarding geometry, I always like geometric shit. It's a little weird. I think he's a great example of how like a spontaneous spiritual psychic experience,
intuitive, yeah,
can boost your intuition, and a boosted intuition won't make you a physicist genius, but it will make you stumble upon a lot of like extremely highbrow wisdom, like that,
such as I forgot what he even described as the Jim Crow law of mathematics.
Or like recreating Saturn with like hexagonal models, which that was pretty nuts.
It was.
But what generally what I'm saying is the whole spiritual awakening element of humanity, and of course like what we should have assumed is like celebrities have the most influence when it comes to our attention. So when we know even celebrities are going through like their own spontaneous spiritual like combustive experiences that make them feel compelled to come out, like Jim Carrey, for example, Cat Williams, they go full Hotep pretty much.
Yes.
And if you think, after this, I look back at Hotep shit and I realize that's under that vein,
It is. It really is. A lot of it is. Yeah, it is.
Shit.
Has a new age connection. It has. There's the political connections, but yes.
So yeah, I mean, generally speaking, that spiritual shit is some powerful shit, and the whole world is going through it. It's the new paradigm. We have to admit it. That's the new thing. It's nothing to do with politics. It's nothing to do with money. Whatever. The age of Aquarius is going to be defined by humanity's newfound or renewed interest in spiritual matters. Like collectively, that's going to become our main focus, is like learning how to like communicate psychically amongst each other using
in
intuition.
An era of unprecedented material wealth.
We're just gonna slingshot back like right up, in
an era of post scarcity, it's the natural progression.
Yes, it's the next step, because like what else are we gonna do? Just sink further into materialism? No, we took that to its limit.
Yeah.
Now we have to look to the metaphysical, because what else are you going to do? It's just going to get worse if you keep sticking to the same shit.
And you have all these very masturbatory activities people are engaged in otherwise.
Yeah, like consumption.
Consumption, literally pornography, literally media consumption, various petty ideological struggles that are really about reassigning status,
substances,
yeah,
like fucking pills.
Politics, frankly, as functions as an in our media environment functions as an addictive substance.
Yeah, they political junkies.
Yeah.
There's literally political junkies. They ruin. They sell their family members out for that shit.
Yeah.
They sell their friends out for that shit. They'll steal for it. They'll cheat for it. They might even kill for it.
Yeah.
It's a drug.
But thankfully, people mostly don't do that in America.
Yeah.
It's not like the 1900s.
I think it's a certain part of a genetic program to defect within our genes, maybe by an alien species.
It's probably, I don't know, maybe it's just related to things that had some other beneficial quality under other circumstances.
Or it could be like
you're surviving in the natural world.
The worship gene.
Yeah.
The need, the human need to worship.
And it feels human need to worship because religion is often a communal element. Strongly communal practice and social technology.
Yeah, but it's not just religion that you see that on. You also see that in culture. You see it in everything. You see it in education. You see it in the worship gene. You know, we have to idolize.
Yeah.
If you could break out of that, though, you know, then you become something greater. So I do believe in the ability for humans to evolve. I do think that's a staunch, like, distinct possibility for people. Anyway, I think you guys have heard us ramble on
enough.
This is a quality talk, though. I think.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you for all for joining us for another exciting episode of the Terrorisk podcast.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Also, vote for Marianne Williamson.